We begin with team coverage. From school levies to property tax issues and hot ticket mayoral races, we've got you covered. You can scan that QR code on your screen. You see it in the bottom right to follow along with results tonight. Those results should start coming in around 7:30. But we begin with one of the most prominent issues facing Ohio politics right now, rising property tax costs. Peter Fleischer is live in Summit County with a closer look at Issue 2, which would cap how much homeowners can be taxed if that is approved. Peter, good evening to you.
Russ, good evening. You mentioned it. This is about the hottest topic that we'll see in the Ohio political world. People are sick of getting their mortgage payments bumped up every year solely because of property taxes. So here in Summit County, officials are looking to provide property tax relief. If Issue 2 is approved tonight and voted through, it would limit the year-over-year county increase to just 3%. That means no matter how much a home's value goes up, Summit County can take at most an extra 3% bump year over year. Now, right now, as the system works, if your property value goes up by 20%, the county takes an increase of 20%. They use what's called inside millage. If Issue 2 were to pass, it would put a cap on the amount that county property taxes can go up. So let's be clear, Issue 2 does not limit property taxes from townships or school districts. And officials estimate the county's taxes only make up about 3.5% of residents' total tax bills. But any relief helps, and there's hope that this kind of action could lead to other entities taking similar steps in the future. Now, what's worth mentioning, Issue 2 here in Summit County has faced no real formal opposition. Multiple council members and the county sheriff are among the elected officials that have voiced their approval for this topic, but we know that it's never official until all of those votes are in. So we'll rack up the final tallies. We'll have the latest for you on Issue 2 here at Summit County tonight on 3 News at 11. Russ, back to you.
Okay, Peter Fleischer in Twinsburg, thank you. Now to some closely watched mayoral races across Northeast Ohio, including the cities of Cleveland and East Cleveland. We'll have more on those two in just a moment. But right now, let's go out to Annabelle Childers. She's in Cleveland Heights, where voters are deciding their next mayor after Khalil Sarin was recalled in September. Annabelle, end of a long journey for those folks in the Heights.
Definitely, and voters here now have two choices for their next mayor. It's between Jim Petras and Davita Russell, both current city council members. Now, Petras finished first in the primary, taking home 28.4% of the vote, but these results were very close. Russell finished second by less than 50 votes. Petras is running a campaign focused on repairing potholes and street resurfacing, improving snow removal, and investing in pedestrian and cyclist safety. He's been endorsed by the majority of the Cleveland Heights City Council, Cleveland Heights Democrats, and the Plain Dealer. Meanwhile, Russell's campaign is focused on building up public safety through community policing and investing in businesses and housing. She's been endorsed by U.S. Congresswoman Amelia Sykes, Cleveland City Council President Blaine Griffin, former Lieutenant Governor Lee Fisher, and Richmond Heights Mayor. Now, both candidates say their real goal is to bring the city together. I'm going to toss it now to my colleague, Sia New Yorker in East Cleveland. Sia, you're covering another eventful mayoral race.
Yes, thank you, Annabelle. Right here next door to the city of Cleveland Heights is all eyes are on East Cleveland in a hotly contested race between current Mayor Lateef Shabazz and former interim Mayor Sandra Morgan. Now let's take a look at some video. It's been a tough year here in East Cleveland where they've had 3 people serve as mayor in just this last year. Now, the two, Shabazz and Morgan, were the top finishers in the primary, and they've both been vying for the spot for months. Now, this after months-long city battle over the city's charter to determine who is the rightful mayor after the city's former mayor, Brandon King, was convicted of corruption charges. A panel of 3 judges declared Lateef Shabazz the rightful mayor, and he's been serving in that role since July. But now Sandra Morgan is hoping to take that title and once again serve the city of East Cleveland. And so 3 News has been covering this all year. We've been here around the clock on air, and we will look to bring you the latest tonight on air and online. Russ?
A couple of busy nights in Cleveland Heights and East Cleveland where you are. See you in New York. Thank you. And in Cleveland, of course, it's the race for City Hall. Incumbent Mayor Justin Bibb is facing challenger Laverne Gore. Bibb has been in office since 2022 and has recently faced scrutiny over his deal with the Haslams, which paves the way for the Browns to leave downtown. Meanwhile, Gore, who you see there on the right, ran for mayor back in 2009. She also ran for Congress in 2021. Voters in Cleveland will also have a say over who will represent them on the city council. And our Kristen Moran is live in downtown Cleveland, tracking multiple races tonight. Kristen, good evening.
Russ, good evening. Well, council will see its membership shrink from 17 to 15 members. That's because of population loss. Now, earlier this year, lawmakers approved a new 15-ward map. That new map consolidates neighborhoods and changes what the wards will look like. While some council members are running unopposed, there are 9 wards with races we are closely watching tonight. 2 of those races include a clash of council members. We're also looking at Ward 7 race. Those are newcomers, Austin Davis and Mohammed Faraj. They're both looking for their first terms. Now, these new boundaries, Russ, will take effect in January. Some residents will stay in their current ward and others will be assigned to a new ward, Russ.
All right, Krista Moran in downtown Cleveland, thank you very much. All right, our friend and editor-at-large at Signal Cleveland, Mark Namick. He's our buddy. He, of course, used to be here at Channel 3, and now he comes in on election night to tell us what's going on. Mark, it's good to see you.
Good to be back.
Let's talk about the city council races in Cleveland. As Kristen pointed out, you have some redistricting, some lines redrawn, which has meant some incumbents are facing off against each other. What are the most competitive races?
There are 2 races where we have 4 incumbents facing each other. The good news for voters in Cleveland is all of them have served well without major controversy. But let's start in Ward 10, which is Collinwood, and that is North Collinwood, South Collinwood, by the lake, where the Dean of Council, also known as the T-Rex for being a dinosaur with a bite, Mike Polensik, is trying to hold on another term. He faces Anthony Hairston, who also has represented and is technically the incumbent here after that merger. He served well. He's been on some of the major committees. He portrays this as a race between the past and the present, and he does come in with some backing from fellow council members. The other race is Ward 5. That's the central neighborhood, Kinsman, touches on Slavic Village in downtown. You have Richard Starr, who has deep roots in that central neighborhood, and Rebecca Maurer, an attorney who, you know, has made distinction because she hasn't towed the line on council and has pushed back. But her former ward got cut up into 6 different pieces, so she has a little bit of this. That's 2 races to watch, and we'll see how that turns out in about 90 minutes.
Okay, of course, let's look ahead to City Hall next year. What are the biggest issues facing the City Hall next year? City government in general next year?
Yeah, the mayor has not had much of a challenge. He's expected to win. He will wake up tomorrow morning with a huge issue on his lap, and that is the closure of many, many Cleveland schools, which are expected to be announced tomorrow. He wears the jacket. He's in charge of the schools. He's going to have to make a difference in pushing that forward. And he's also got to deal with police reform. He rode into office 4 years ago this night on issue 24, which was giving police oversight to citizens. That's not worked out well, and he's already talked to Signal Cleveland and others about changing that with another charter amendment. So those are big things. Council faces both the Cleveland school closures, because that's where the neighborhoods, the pressure is going to be on them to see that through. And they also have to deal with keeping the mayor in check and somewhat on the Browns and the Haslams.
All right, so a lot of things going on
Yes.
is what you're saying. You're going to be back at 6:30 on a streaming show as well.
Yep.
Mark Namick, as always, it's great to see you. And many communities are making big decisions about school funding tonight. Education reporter Danielle Wiggins has been tracking these crucial ballot questions for weeks, and she joins us live from the newsroom. Danielle Wiggins is going to have that story. Of course, she's been covering this all year long, and there she is. She's joining us here in the studio. My mistake. Danielle, good evening.
Good evening to you, Russ, as well. And tonight I'm tracking ballot measures in Parma, Elyria, Ashtabula. So let's start with the emergency levies Parma and Elyria are asking voters to approve. In Parma, voters are deciding on issue 49, a 10-year emergency operating levy that will bring in about $23 million a year to keep the district running. Okay, it has been 14 years since Parma schools last passed an operating levy for new funds. The cost to taxpayers is $242 a year for every $100,000 of county appraised home value. And in Elyria, issue 17 would generate about $6.4 million annually over the next decade. The cost to homeowners is $172 a year per $100,000 in appraised home value. And Ashtabula area city schools had a bond issue on the ballot to repair Lakeside High School. If approved, the $42 million bond will cost taxpayers $134 for each $100,000 of their county home value. Now, this bond issue comes as the school's roof partially collapsed under heavy snow last year. And Russ, district leaders say that their insurance company canceled their policy after the district filed a claim.
And this levy is really a backup plan for them, right?
Pardon me?
This levy is really a backup plan for them.
Yes, the bond issue it is, because if that money doesn't go through, then this is what they need to do to pay for those roof repairs so that they can get students back into the high school.
Okay, Danielle Wiggins, who, as we've established, is here in the studio. Thank you so much. And stay tuned to WKYC for up-to-the-minute election updates on your key races in the area. Again, the polls close at 7:30. We'll have continuing election coverage for you tonight. It's 6:30 online, and it's 7 and 11 on air.